What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Down to Earth with me, Kristian Harloff. Thanks for joining me here today. So, Burlison was out again doing the rounds. This time he was on Kristen Fisher's podcast, and she asked him again about the hearings. Pretty much said the same thing that we've been hearing about the lack of witnesses that are ready to testify that have actually handled materials themselves. There was something, though, that he said inside of the interview or the clip rather, that we've talked about on this show many times, and it makes me go, yeah, well, that makes it more curious, so many more questions. But let me play the clip and then I'll tell you what I'm talking about. Check it out.
You and other members of the UAP caucus have said that you were hoping to have the next big UAP hearing this month in July. Now it's been postponed until at least September. Why the delay?
Scheduling conflict with members, but also we want to get it right, and so we're navigating getting the right witnesses, the best witnesses we possibly can. And so
by that, do you mean first-hand witnesses?
Yeah, we're focused on trying to get people that have got first-hand experience that can bring new conversations.
First-hand experience with what?
With non-human intelligence.
Do you think you can get that?
We'll see. What's frustrating is that people that claim and will go on national news, many of them are not willing to come in and be under oath.
Why? Because of the public backlash?
I don't know why, but yeah, many of them are not willing to come in.
I don't know why. I mean, there's a lot of things you could say as far as I don't know why. I mean, first of all, the number one thing that I would say, there's two things. There's the skeptic that some people will say the reason why, and then there's the reason that I think, and that is, we've told you this already. Lukatsky has told you this already. There's no protection for these people overall. So you don't know why. Of course you know why. It's like, because if they come in and they lose, and it's certain people who could lose things like their pensions, or they could lose, they could not be taken seriously in certain other aspects. They could be, as she brought up, you could be the public scrutiny, and not, from your peers and other things. And then you have the skeptics that'll come after you and try to defame you and do all those other things. There's no protection for these people. So if there's no protection whatsoever at all, what's their incentive to do it? The scheduling side of it with people inside of Congress, it's always a head scratcher to me. And it goes back to that clip that we played the other day when Vance was talking to that buffoon that was sitting next to him, and he just starts laughing like when he brings up UFO, and just completely doesn't take anything, clearly not informed on any information in the way that he handled it. But that to me speaks more so of other people that potentially are going to be part of it. And they're like, look, I got to be part of this UFO hearing again. I got other things scheduled. When do you want to do this? Is a waste of my time. That's what I feel like a lot of it is, depending on who he's talking about with scheduling. Because in my mind, okay, when do you want to do it? I'll move things around. I'll have this. Let's make sure. We're going to actually get people who said that they touch craft. We're going to get people who said that they have handled bodies. They've done these things. We're going to actually start to get answers about this thing. Yeah. What do I need to move? I can move that until next week. That should be the priority. If you indeed believe in it, right? It would be for me. So there's also pressure from other people, and it's not that easy. I understand that. But as far as the frustration, I mean, I get it. You can go on, like, look at, as I brought up with like Eric Davis. Eric Davis went into that briefing, talked about a lot of different things. He's not saying that in front of Congress. He's not saying it under oath. Now, that's where the skeptic could come in and say, well, yeah, of course. It's a lot easier to sell your books, and you get on some news show or some podcast talking about all these different things that happen, and you had confrontations or you had encounters with extraterrestrials and NHI and all that. And yeah, you sell your books if you do that. But if you say it under oath, then you're going to be in some serious trouble if they start to pick through your stuff and they find that you're full of crap, then you're going to be in trouble. If you start to say, oh, I worked here, and you didn't, then people are going to start saying that person is a liar. And that's also the thing that they might try to do that even if you were telling the truth. So it's not as easy as saying, hey, which people would just step up and do it. You hope someone like a Matthew Brown would want to do it. I mean, he was he's sitting there. He wasn't supposed to say any of that stuff that he said anyway in the Jeremy Corbell and George Knapp's podcast. At this point, he put himself out there. Him, Jake Barber. How come those guys don't want to do it? How come those guys don't want to speak out? Eric Davis. Why doesn't he, if he's saying that in front of the hearing or the briefing rather, why won't he say it at a hearing? So it is. I'm sure it is frustrating. I guess Burlison wanted to stay as brief as possible, but when she said, "Why do you think that is?" Like, I don't know. Of course you know. There's a lot of different reasons. What have they told you? And that's the other thing. What do you mean you don't know? Of course you know. When you've tried to have these conversations with people, what have they said? The other thing, and she might have asked this in the interview. I haven't watched the full interview, but like, where's Grush? Is Grush still working with him? I gotta get this guy. I gotta interview this guy. I know that some of you have tagged him on posts. Everybody who's watching this, tag him on the post. Going through the emails and everything too, I don't want to do it. I feel like if the way that these politicians work too, if they see enough people will say, hey, do this show, then they want to do the show. So I have so many questions to ask him, and so many that leading up to, where are we going to go with well, it was going to be in July. Actually, no, it's going to be in September. Well, we think it's going to be in September, but we don't know. Do not do a hearing at all if you cannot get the first-hand witnesses. Don't do it. Don't get somebody who knew somebody who saw something one time that knew somebody who did something once. Don't do that. Nobody wants that anymore. And it's not going to do any headlines. They know that. He knows that. Luna knows that. They all know that. There's been other news where recently Moskowitz was talking about where he knows that Vance is looking into this and is looking into the topic more. Are they going to put some more people on it? If you knew Vance is looking into this, why not go directly to him and say, hey, listen, we want this. We need more protection. We need for these witnesses. We need these things to help us out. We can, if you're that fascinated in the topic and you really want to get to the bottom of this, give us a budget. Find a way to give us a budget to protect these people financially and other things that they can do so we can get this and you can be the guy that greenlit this thing. I don't understand why they're not doing that. And again, it could be an answer that's not that easy. We have to do this, we have to do that. But I don't get it. Anyway, what do you guys make of this? What do you think? You think we're going to get actual witnesses that testify? Are we going to get just one? Or are we going to get three? Or are we going to get a big fat zero? Put your thoughts in there. Let me know. Thank you guys so much. We crossed 50,000 subscribers over the weekend. I really appreciate that. Thanks for being on the journey here on Down to Earth. Try to do like between 1 and 2 videos a day. I'm going to try to do 2 as much as I can. It's just a matter of scheduling and stuff of that nature, but I'm trying. So thanks again for being here. I appreciate all the positive comments, the conversation, all that and more. We're on Apple Podcasts. We're on Spotify. So thanks again. Appreciate you. See you soon.